This Hot and Healthy podcast is presented to you by me, Nicole Van Hattem, holistic success coach and best-selling author, and brought to you by the Ginger Camel Media Network. Turn up the volume as we bring you the people and practices that power you to think, eat, thrive. Welcome to the first ever Snap TV version of Hot and Healthy. And I'm so excited that the first person on the episode is Anahi Brown, wellness coach. Well, welcome to the show, Anahi.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here, especially since we just launched our very best-selling book called One Crazy Broccoli, and we were co-authors on this.
Yes.
When you think about what you contributed to the book and the story that you shared, what would you like people to tune into when they're reading your story?
I think the ultimate message is empowerment. It's talking about how we are the controllers of our life and our health, and how we can take the labels that are being put up by either physicians or by society or by ourselves and just peel them off when we feel ready, because the labels are there for a reason, and they're going to teach us something, and they're going to take us somewhere, and eventually we can just let go of them, just like you will let go of a really nice pair of jeans that you wore for a long time, but that doesn't fit with who you are now. So It's the same. It's just loving the label, embracing it, and then saying, I don't need you anymore. You told me what you were going to teach me, and letting you go.
Great. And generally a label is a good starting point, or is a starting point.
Yes.
But it's not the whole story.
Yes.
And with your personal story, what do you think? Who's it going to resonate with, do you think?
I think it's going to resonate with women, because I talk a lot about body image, body shaming, personally body shaming, depression and postnatal depression, like depression in womanhood. And it's going to resonate from women, particularly with moms, new moms, dreamer moms, women that dream all their life they wanted to be moms, and then when they're stuck in it, they're like, this sucks, and I need I don't know, here's the bill and take it back because I really don't like it. And how you navigate through it, through the guilt, through the anger, through the scars, so that you can really realize that it is fantastic and that it is teaching you so much.
That's fantastic, because I've never heard anyone else describe motherhood as it sucks. It's difficult, it sucks, it's not easy, it doesn't come naturally.
No, and today I had a meeting with my support group that I have here for postnatal depression moms, and one of them was saying, but don't you should love your kid and love is gonna be enough? And I'm like, no, embrace it, embrace the fact that it sucks, embrace the fact that sometimes you're gonna say, child, I will kill for you, but right now I really dislike you. I adore my son with everything that he does. I mean, you wipe his bum, for Christ's sake, that's a lot of love. But you're not gonna love every part of it, and especially when you're going through so many things, when you're just not prepared, because nobody teaches you. Don't go to a course how to be a great mom. You go through fears and wondering and questioning and stuff. So it is tough. And I think that when we moms, when we women in general say life is tough and it's okay and I don't have to have it together all the time, we start healing. We start peeling labels and saying, yeah.
So your experience was a new mum, not realising that she had postnatal depression, but wondering why she didn't like her child. Wasn't it supposed to be all this just magical, I love you, I'll do anything for you? And through that experience, you're now helping other mothers.
Yeah, well, basically that was it. I remember when I still remember when Matthew came out and they put it here and the doctor said, well, I introduced you to your son. And I grabbed him and I was like, where's my oxytocin? How come I don't feel in love with you? Okay, we'll get there. And then the first few months when everyone says, aren't you in love with him? And I'm like, yeah, not really. And people say, he's so precious, isn't he? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. And do you think that's really important? Mothers feel the pressure to act a certain way and be a certain way, but they don't necessarily feel a certain way?
Yes, there's pressure to be the mommy. I mean, there's so much pressure. There's pressure, and this is the thing, the mom ends up feeling that she's failing the society and the child and the family, but at the end is the support network that is failing the mom, because the mom feels, okay, so I should be feeling in love, but I'm not, so maybe there's something wrong with me. I'm such a horrible person. So you start going down that road, which is how I felt. I felt that my family would be so much better without me, because I was unfit to be a mom, and I couldn't understand how come someone who wanted to be a mom since she was a girl could be so wrong at that. You know, I was so bad at it. I mean, I was feeling that I was killing this child. I should know better. I'm a wellness coach. Come on, I need to get this together, and I couldn't. And then all the pressure kept escalating, and you see this picture on Facebook of the moms with the babies going, and you're like, how come my motherhood journey doesn't look like that? How come I just don't feel that? And that's what happens. So the moms hide it because they feel guilty, especially first-time mom. They feel so guilty. The husband don't see it. They see a cranky woman there with a baby sucking bits that shouldn't be there, and all these things, right? And then unfortunately the healthcare providers don't see it either. The friends don't see it because you don't show it. The first time that I was confronted with the fact that I had postnatal depression, I was 8 months postnatal. And it was my husband who one day he just sat me down and said, I don't think this is how it should play. This is not how it should look like. And when he told me that, yes, I felt ashamed. I felt so ashamed. I remember I was like, how dare you question my abilities as a... Oh, right. So
it makes sense.
Yeah, this makes sense. So it's not sucky. And I think that's the thing. The more we talk, and when I say we, yes, moms that have gone through postnatal depression, dads that have gone through paternal postnatal depression, parents, moms, friends, anybody that has gone through something, the more we talk about it. Brené Brown and Danielle Laporte talk about vulnerability so much. And Danielle Laporte says the moment that you open up about a secret, it loses its power over you. And that's the thing. When Phil, my husband, said, this is what I think is happening, let's just research together and see how we can get you better. And I embraced that, and I took it, and I said, okay, so yeah, this is it. And I started working towards it. I started changing. But when I open up to my mom, to my friends, when I actually got the time to post on Facebook and say, I went through this, it sucked. It almost killed my marriage, my family, but it didn't, for a reason. It just lost the power. Suddenly, I didn't feel ashamed anymore. I didn't care. And now, it's like sometimes Phil says, oh, are we going back down that road again? Are we mentioning it again? Or we're going out or something, and I think, I'm just not gonna talk about it today because it's not relevant anymore. But there was a moment where my lifeguard was to open up to someone and say, you know what? I have really bad postnatal depression, and it sucked my son's first year. And it sucked, but now I'm doing something about it.
Right. And do you think that that's the first part of healing, which is acknowledging that you have a problem and saying, okay, everyone has problems. It's okay for me to be real, to be authentic, to say it sucks, to say I need help, to seek that advice. Do you think that's the beginning of the healing process?
Yeah, because it's when you face your label. It's when you take the label that is stuck on you and that you think that it defines you forever, and you say, okay, so this is my label. Okay, I'm gonna work through you, and then I'm gonna let you go. And that's what I did, and that's what I encourage people to do, to just there to face the label and there to share the label, because everyone is walking around with their own monsters, and that's what Facebook hides. That's what those pictures of the moms going doesn't show.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't show the sleepless nights and the challenge in the relationship, and the fact that they might not be completely in love with their baby and they're facing some challenges.
And we have this Hollywood idea. It's just like marriage, you know, when you get married in the movies, the wedding ceremony and everything is beautiful, right? And nobody tells you that maybe the first few months are sucky because he keeps dropping the socks on the floor, and you're like, dude, could you please pick them up? And you have all these conceptions of how things should be, and the same with motherhood, right? So when we mothers and women and men and everybody says, well, that's how the movie looks like because you want to buy it, but that's not how reality looks like. And I remember my husband said, ultimately the reality is so much better. Now I can say, ultimately the reality is so much better.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anahi. I love the fact that Anahi tells it real, that she really keeps it down to earth. She says it like it is. So if that's the kind of person that you want to connect with, if you believe that she has a message for you, first of all, grab a copy of her book, One Crazy Broccoli. But also have a look in the notes below this show and tune in to the different ways that you can connect with Anahi Brown, because she really does have something very special to share with everybody. And thank you very much for tuning in to this first episode of Hot and Healthy on Snap TV, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for listening, and special thanks to our audio mastermind, Scott Houston, for mixing today's episode. You can find us at gingercamelmedianetwork.com/hot and at nicolevanhattem.com.